Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Network Merchandise Shop. Pick up your logo merchandise by heading over to abvnetwork.com, clicking on Shop, and start filling your basket today. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for something for yourself, a customized gift, or logoed items for your business gift shop, the Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. That's the number 2 in the Bar to Go. Don't forget our friends at Neely Family Distillery now ship their unique distilled spirits directly to you. To order yours, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. My name is Steve Akeley. I've got Rick, the legend Brenner, joining me as we're going to be trying Four Roses, the limited edition small batch, the 2020 version. Hey, Rick, how you doing, man?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's Saturday and I'm drinking bourbon, you know?
Yep.
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
Well, actually, it's past noon now, so.
Fair enough. It's past noon somewhere on a weekend. That's you don't have to wait till 5 on the weekend. So.
I know.
So this is fun. Four Roses, I'm just a big Four Roses fan, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
First time I went to visit them, guess what? You couldn't even buy it in the U.S. Crazy to think about. So literally, you tour the distillery and they're like, yeah, we can't buy it here. We'd love to try our stuff, but we can't, which, of course, then we know the story. Jim Rutledge worked hard to make it where employees could buy it by getting it available in Kentucky, and then Four Roses takes off. It's a great product. People start liking it. Initially they thought it would be just the employees buying it. Bourbon fans find it, and next thing you know, Four Roses is back to being a force in the U.S., which is cool. It's such a great success story, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And this is always one of my favorite releases, but you and I were talking a little bit off the air. It's been a point of contention. Again, we love bourbon and we're fans, but this is one we'd normally get, and I didn't get one last year, neither did you.
Up until a few years ago, I could buy this off the shelf at a local liquor store, and now you don't even see it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. When this would come out, it would sit on the shelves for a while. I'd buy one, drink it, buy another one. There was not even a hurry to go out and buy 3 or 4 to bunker them. You just buy them when you felt like it. So.
Exactly, and now it's hard to find. So the downside of things being really popular.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot of innovation that happens. There's more people getting in the business. There's a lot of good things that happen because bourbon's so popular. The downside is the things that we love that were available, not so much available anymore.
Yep.
Yeah. And then guys like you and I get pissed off because we used to buy these bottles for affordable prices. And then if we do see them, there's nothing better. I mean, have you ever walked into a store and then you see something, whether this or birthday bourbon or, I don't know, you name it, one of these hard to find, and you say, oh, cool, it's here. And then you check the price and it's, 10 times retail. And
right.
It's like, that's just deflating. Oh, wait a minute, they got Weller Antique on the shelf. Oh, very cool, I love that. It's $250. Oh, no, thank you. It's frustrating, right?
I know.
Yeah, and I don't know. I go back and forth because I think, you know what? They're a business. They can charge for it whatever they want. That's up to me not to buy it. And of course, I don't buy it. But I still, for some reason, I'd like to take the higher ground and not be mad about it. But I'm still mad about it, Rick.
No, I probably never buy over MSRP.
Right.
I will allow for a little fluctuation because of geographical differences.
Yeah.
Different markets, but it's got to be within reason.
Yeah, usually $25-$30 will cover everywhere across the country. So, yeah, I'll buy like Yellowstone limited edition, and sometimes I can pick it up for $100, and then I go to another store and it's $125. I'm thinking, well, that's just the difference. I can live with that. To me, that's still basically the same price. But yeah,
like when I see a Sazerac rye for $19 in New Orleans,
right,
and $80 in
it's like,
Kansas,
no, thank you.
It's like that's not a geographical difference,
right?
You know?
Yeah, and then sometimes people get mad at the brand, and they're like, "It's no good." Well, no, it's still good. It's just good, and it's meant to be at that price level. Weller Special Reserve, people will say that's garbage. No, it's not garbage. It's actually really good bourbon. In that $25 price range, it's where it's supposed to be sold at. And you know what? For a $25 bourbon, that's excellent. It might be as good as you find at $25. But people will tell you it's no good because they see prices of $150, $200. And I get it. I don't want to pay that either, and I won't.
No, because you know what MSRP is.
Right, exactly. Yeah. You wonder how often, Rick, it does happen to people that just know enough to be dangerous, and they go walking in and they see a Weller Special Reserve for $150. They're like, oh, I know this one's tough to find. They buy it. And, because that's a different thing than someone being like, I know it's only a $25 bourbon. I've got the money, and it's $125. You know what? I can buy it. So, more power to them, I guess. I guess they don't care. But the people that get suckered in on these things, you got to think, gosh, that's got to be a terrible feeling.
No, a couple of years ago in St. Louis at a liquor store, Lucas Liquor, to be frank, I bought a bottle of Special Reserve, a handle of Special Reserve, for like $34.
Yeah, that's a great price, right? Yeah,
they had the 750s at like $19.
Yeah,
it's like
right. Yeah, and when it's that price, it's great stuff for sure. So, we've got a fun one today. Even though we haven't been able to get it, it's going to be fun to try. So we're going to get to that after the break, though. So we'll do that in just a few. Hello, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, and let's talk for a moment about our sponsors, the people that make this show happen. First up is our friends at Moonshine University. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification at their office in Louisville. The information I learned through lead instructor Colin Blake and their team there is something that I continue to draw upon frequently in my role at the ABV Network. It truly is the standard of establishing a benchmark of knowledge of the bourbon industry. From history to production to brands and people, it's all there. Check out their full listing of programs, including Executive Bourbon Steward certification, production classes if you're considering starting a distillery, and much more at moonshineuniversity.com. I also want to talk about Neely Family Distillery. Back in May of 2018, I met Royce Neely at Limestone Branch's Craft Bourbon Festival. It ended up not only being the start of a great friendship, I started to truly learn about what makes craft whiskey so amazing. You see, I had been a bourbon drinker for over 30 years at that point, and like many people who had been drinking bourbon a long time, I was hard-coded into thinking big bourbon was where it was at and craft was on a journey to get there. Spending time with Royce and learning the things he does to make his whiskey taste better started to really get me to appreciate how things like sweet mashing, open top fermentation, pot distillation, and the grains you are using not only makes your product taste better coming off the still, but also out of the barrel as well. I still love heritage brands and they make up a bulk of my collection. But when you find a craft distiller that is truly dedicated to the craft of distilling, you are drinking some of the best whiskey out there on the market today. That's exactly what's happening at Neely Family Distillery today. Check them out on the web at neelyfamilydistillery.com, or better yet, stop by and see them at their distillery in Sparta, Kentucky. And now, back to the show.
Scott Pankowski loves the Bourbon Daily.
But can I have a kiss?
No. That doesn't work.
All right, everybody, welcome back. My name is Steve Akeley. I'm sitting at my kitchen table with the legend himself, Mr. Rick Brenner. Rick, how you doing, man?
Real good.
People always want to know why you get called the legend. Do you want to share that story?
I haven't the foggiest idea. I really don't know.
Well, I think if anybody who hangs out with you, which I do a lot, anybody who hangs out with you more than 2 or 3 times, I think they would probably naturally just call you the legend yourself. So that's not anything that comes from me or anything else. That's just you doing the stuff that you do. You do a lot of legendary things. You buy whiskey by the case a lot of times. You're famously for drinking till 3 o'clock in the morning, then being at breakfast at 7 o'clock the next morning and getting ready to head out and do some more drinking. These are things that get you the name, the legend. Driving to Indiana for a special release. That's legendary stuff. You're driving 4+ hours to go buy one bottle because it's a unique bottle, then driving back home. It's an 8, 9, 10 hour day.
And come on, if I go all the way to Indiana for a bottle, it's for a case. It's not for a bottle. I got to make it worth my while.
Yeah. Yeah, you and I got to figure out when our buddy Jason Fruits over at Old 55 releases his barrel strength sweet corn. We got to have that.
That's going to be a road trip.
Yeah, that's going to be a road trip. Probably the two of us together if we're both available. If not, one of us is going to have to go on behalf of the other, and we got to get it. So that's one of my favorite whiskeys.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been more happy about spending over $200 for a bottle just because it's that good. And I know the story, and you know what? I can't beat that price. I mean, that's actually a very good price.
Well, it's just like the original sweet corn bourbon, which was 80 proof. First time I saw it was over in Illinois at a Total Wine, and I looked at this because of your podcast, I was familiar with the name, and I looked at this. I'm like, $1.25 for 80 proof.
Right.
I'm like, nah, but I knew that like the next day you were having an interview with Jason, so I thought, let's see if there's any rationale for that. Well, during that interview, when he explained the cost of the corn and everything else, I'm like, okay, there's the rationale. I went back over and bought a bottle of it and loved it.
Yeah.
It was when we did that barrel pick up there that Kevin Rose and myself talked to Jason about. We really like that sweet corn bourbon. It's really good at 80 proof.
Right.
But we think it might, be phenomenal right out of the barrel. And he did us a favor and pulled a sample out of a barrel.
Yeah.
And we said, yeah.
This is what I'm talking about.
We were right.
Yeah.
You need to think about doing something like this. And he's like, well, I've been toying around with it and everything else, and but I don't know. And 2 months later, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah. So, and I guess the big surprise this year is going to be that Jason is supposed to be elevating it, because right now it's all in the same bottle. So, the label, of course, says, barrel strength sweet corn. But really, if you line it up with his regular product, with his sweet corn, and then this, they don't look that much different. But I understand he's gonna elevate it somehow. So it's going to be a new label or in a box or something.
It's
worthy.
It's something special.
Yeah, it's something special. It should have a special look to it.
It's just like Limestone Branch did with the limited edition.
Yeah.
They changed the packaging.
Yes.
So you could, across the room tell there's a difference between that and regular Yellowstone.
Yes. Yeah, I really love everything actually that Limestone Branch has going on. That's a fantastic company. Their branding is just unbelievable, on point. The bottle switch that they had, for it's cool. It's cool. So Steve Beam and crew there is doing a great job. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about this limited edition and what we're getting here. Let me give you some of the stats here, because this is always important. Fans want to know this. What makes up the 2021 Four Roses limited edition small batch? It is as follows. It's barrel strength of the following: OESV recipe, 16 years. So there's some of that in there. They've got some OESK at 12 years. They got some OBSQ at 14 years, and finally some OBSV at 16 years. So we know that this could be a 12-year age stated product. The youngest whiskey in there is 12 years, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Up to 16 years. It comes in at 114.4 proof. Amazing to think about. But always a favorite release. Let's do this. Oh. That's really good. You got everything going on there, Rick. I'm getting some floral notes. I'm also getting some savory stuff, almost like a steak seasoning, But there's that little mix of just a hint of floral, because you got the different recipes. You're picking up some of that stuff, and everything you want to throw out there in terms of classic bourbon is there. You can throw just check that box, and that includes oak, vanilla, caramel.
But you're right. There's some good floral notes.
Yeah, there's floral in there for sure.
I'm not too sure about the steak seasoning because I don't pick up any garlic. But,
well, no garlic, but some of the
maybe
other
maybe a little pepper.
Pepper. Yeah. Yeah, some of that's there. All right, let's see what we got here on the taste, Rick. Cheers, buddy. Let's do a cheers on this one. This is special. Here we go. Oh my! If we don't find a bottle of this year, it's going to be a disappointment after this little taste right here. I mean, that is really good. It's sweet. It's spicy. A lot of spice to it. That steak seasoning is there, not the garlic, but the rest of it. It's even got a little citrus note in there. I get some of that kind of up front. It sticks with you mid-palate. I'm still feeling...
finish.
It's got a great finish, and I'm still feeling it build kind of mid-palate for me. So.
Yeah, I would say this definitely lives up to expectation.
Yeah. Of course, we know all the players involved here. Jim Rutledge, one of the greatest people in bourbon. Of course, he's the distiller going back for this. And, of course, Brent Elliott is the guy blending this together, which is a tough job, too. And just another great offering. I mean, everything that Brent Elliott has touched and done is amazing.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree.
He's done a really good job. So, yet another one. So, get out there if you can find it. Track it down. Do what you can to get yourself a bottle because it's that good. All right, well, we'll wrap up this show, as we always do, by talking about where people can find us. Rick, we'll start with you. People want to follow your bourbon journey. They want to see legendary stuff. Where do they need to go?
Rick Brenner at Facebook.
Facebook, easy enough. For me, I'm also an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. The important website to always remember, though, is abvnetwork.com, because everything that we do is out there. Maybe you want to hear previous reviews we've done of limited edition small batches. Those are out there. We've got our shop out there, which has been revitalized. A lot of new things coming in there already. More new things coming out pretty soon. We've got our virtual bourbon events. Rick's a regular on those, right?
Oh, yeah.
Get a chance to meet the legend by coming to our virtual bourbon events. So check us out at abvnetwork.com. Please give this podcast a 5-star review. It helps new people find the show. That's always important to us. And if you like what we're doing, get involved. Head over to patreon.com/the ABV Network. Well, that's it for this one today. We'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Peace.
Before we finish the show, let's chat for a moment about Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you just want to experiment on a small scale on the stove in your kitchen or try your hand at a bigger setup in the backyard, Moonshine Still Pro can help. They have different still offerings as well as accessories and even grains from Goldstone Mill to help you make whiskey on par with what you get from your favorite distillery. They can even assist with a DIY still project by supplying some of the parts you can't make yourself. Check them out at moonshinestillpro.com. At the ABV Network, we're lucky enough to have some great friends. Amongst those friends is the Goldstein family, owners of Goldstone Mill. Goldstone Mill is a full-service mill offering a variety of heritage and heirloom grains. Their unique approach of working with mills around the country allows them to offer you affordable shipping opportunities to meet the unique needs of your distillery or brewery. They will consult with you to ensure the grains you are selecting meets the unique flavor profiles you are looking for. If you are a home brewer or distiller and you're looking for the grains that your local distillery or brewery uses, Goldstone Mill is the place to look. Check them out on the web at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or shoot them an email at hello@goldstonemill.com.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.